We've got some police department recognitions tonight, so I'd ask Chief Brian Murphy to please come up.
Hi. I'd like to have the citizens come up first. There's first.
Sure. Oh, yeah, whatever. Yeah, absolutely.
Austin, Tyler, please come up here. I'll read the thing out for you.
Okay, I'll go ahead and read this. Kirkwood Police Department Citizen Service Citation, Austin Stevens Portman, Tyler Christopher Knecht. Is that correct, Knecht? Yeah. On Saturday, January 22nd, 2022, at approximately 12:45 p.m., officers were dispatched to the area of Marshall and Timberview for a reported vehicle crash with rollover, and the vehicle was on fire. Upon arrival, Kirkwood fire personnel were extinguishing the vehicle fire and treating the victim. The first responding officer was advised 2 witnesses had pulled the driver out of the vehicle, which was on fire, after witnessing the crash. The witnesses described the accident and their actions to the responding officer. Both witnesses stated they observed the vehicle leave the roadway into the wooded inclined embankment, rolled over as the vehicle came back across Marshall Road in front of them, coming to rest on its roof and in the concrete culvert on the right side of the road. The witnesses saw that the vehicle caught fire, so they both ran to the vehicle and pulled the driver out of the vehicle to a safe distance, calling 911 when it was safe to do so. The driver of the vehicle was transported to the hospital as a trauma patient and was issued traffic citations to include driving while intoxicated. The citizen service citation is awarded to a citizen whose assistance to the police department was given without regard to personal welfare and had a positive bearing on the outcome of the incident and contributed to the furtherance of law enforcement in the community. Through the authority vested in the Chief of Police, you are presented this award tonight.
Thank you, gentlemen. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Kirkwood Police Department Award of Excellence, Officer Justin Pugh. On Sunday, November 7th, 2021, at approximately 1:00 a.m., officers responded to Tom's service station at 401 North Kirkwood Road in reference to an alarm sounding. Upon arrival, officers discovered a window on the business broken out. Video footage of the incident revealed the suspect and a vehicle possibly involved with the crime. The suspect used what appeared to be a hatchet to break out the window. Still photographs of the suspect's vehicle were captured and distributed throughout the police department and to surrounding agencies. On Tuesday, November 13th, 2021, at approximately 4:45 a.m., Officer Pugh observed a vehicle matching the description of the suspect's vehicle. Officer Pugh conducted a traffic stop, identified the driver, and forwarded the obtained information to the Detective Bureau. After a multi-agency meeting, using the information obtained during Officer Pugh's traffic stop, the Arnold Police Department entered a wanted on the suspect and vehicle. On Sunday, December 5th, 2021, the Arnold Police Department took the suspect into custody. During the interview, the suspect confessed to the burglary at Tom's service station and approximately 24 other burglaries and multiple stealing, property damage related crimes he committed throughout St. Louis County, St. Charles County, and Jefferson County. Burglary tools were located in the vehicle, including the hatchet, which was used at many of the burglaries. The suspect was given the moniker the hatchet burglar. Investigators learned the suspect was released a year ago from prison after serving 16 years for similar crimes. With these additional charges, the suspect is potentially looking at a life sentence, ensuring he does not cause havoc in our community again. Officer Pugh did an outstanding job comparing the information distributed with what his observations were. The suspect stated, if it wasn't for Officer Pugh's traffic stop and the gathering of his information, he would continue to commit crimes. The professionalism, decision-making ability, and actions of Officer Pugh reflect highly upon the city, on the department, and serve as an example for other officers. Through the authority vested in the Chief of Police, you are presented this award this evening.
Avery?
Kirkwood Police Department Award of Excellence, Dispatcher Avery Barton. On Tuesday, January 18th, 2022 at 9:24 p.m., Dispatcher Avery Barton answered a 911 call from the wife of a 66-year-old man who was unresponsive and not breathing. Dispatcher Barton promptly dispatched paramedics and then proceeded to walk the victim's wife through CPR until paramedics arrived. The woman initially not pumping his chest quickly enough to be effective. So Dispatcher Barton started counting for the woman so she would maintain the correct pace. Dispatcher Barton continued to count and provide the caller with the appropriate pace for compressions for over 2 minutes until the paramedics arrived, stopping only to provide encouragement or check the patient's status. Upon arrival, the paramedics continued CPR before eventually transporting the patient to the hospital. Per Deputy Fire Chief Dave Smith, Dispatcher Barton's instructions to the patient's wife kept the blood circulating and made the patient viable for the EMS crew to work and regain a pulse and respirations. When the medics arrived on the scene, the patient was still unconscious and pulseless. Effective CPR was done prior to EMS arrival. The patient did not regain return of spontaneous circulation until after the administration of 1 round of medication and the second shock from EMS. Patient was delivered breathing and with a pulse to the ER staff. We do not know the caller's level of medical training, but we feel it is safe to say Dispatcher Barton's calm demeanor and detailed instruction helped save this man's life. Through the authority vested in the Chief of Police, you are presented this award tonight.
Ed, Jimmie, Brian. Will.
Boy, here's a crew coming up.
The posters?
Not you, Chad, not you.
Oh, yeah.
Award of Excellence, Sergeant Will Haskell, Officer Chad Walton, Officer Jimmie Patterson, Officer Brian Jundt, Officer Connor Nadeau. On Wednesday, February 9th, 2022, at approximately 4 p.m., officers were dispatched to a residence in the 100 block of Wilson for a violation of an ex parte assignment. Additional information from the caller advised the suspect was potentially armed. As officers arrived to the area, the suspect's vehicle was observed leaving the residence driveway and began traveling away from the arriving officers. Officer Jundt attempted to stop the vehicle via a traffic stop. The vehicle continued for several moments before stopping, leading Officer Jundt to suspect the vehicle was not going to stop. The driver was instructed several times to turn the vehicle off and to show his hands. The driver refused to comply with any instructions. Officers Jundt, Walton, Nadeau, and Haskell, Sergeant Haskell, took tactical positions around the vehicle. For several minutes, Officer Jundt continued to give the suspect verbal commands before the suspect finally turned off the vehicle and exited the vehicle, constantly arguing with the officers and continually moving his eyes, assessing the situation, leading the officers to believe the suspect was contemplating taking further action. Officers displayed their firearms and tasers to provide lethal and non-lethal coverage in an attempt to take the suspect into custody without issue. Even with weapons displayed, the suspect was still verbally uncooperative and refused several times to submit to arrest. At this time, Officer Jimmie Patterson arrived at the scene with his canine partner, Roscoe. As soon as the suspect saw Officer Patterson and canine Roscoe, he submitted to arrest without further incident. When physically searched, a loaded handgun was located in the suspect's waistband. A second loaded firearm was located in the vehicle's center console. All of the above transpired with the suspect's 9-year-old daughter in the front passenger seat. The above mentioned officers' use of their tactics, professionalism, demeanor, and effective communication skills led to the arrest of an armed suspect without any physical use of force. Their de-escalation skills and patience safely put an end to the potential threat this suspect could have become. Through the authority invested in the Chief of Police, you are presented this award this evening.
This one it's not here.
Okay. All right. Really quick before you all leave, I thought you'd want to stay for our, meeting. You don't seem that interested, but thank you all. Stories like this are just a reminder for everyone in the community of what, our officers do every day. This happened at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, right? In a nice neighborhood in Kirkwood, and what could have happened if not handled properly would have been awful, but our professional officers they're just incredible, and they do this every day. And we just, want to thank you so much for everything you do for us. Thank you.